Hey Void, how you doing? So, got another Shutter Trek entry today, and it's a movie I'd never heard anything on. And just looking at the title, I this one didn't grab me just from the poster and from the description. I thought this was just going to be average at best. And The Ranger was average at best. It's not breaking any new ground here, guys. So, it's essentially a basic run of the mill kids in the woods getting picked off by a slasher. Well, usually use the gun more in this case, so deranged hunter. You've seen this kind of movie a lot. So, The Ranger. This one tries to do a little bit more in terms of kind of setting up the killer to have a connection with the main victim and to get into kind of disturbing territory there. And that is elevated a little bit. And trying to take it out away from like a normal slasher stockpile of stereotypes, we get a different flavor of stereotypes as the punk scene is now being attacked by this. Yeah. Okay. So, this one starts off by a group of. Well, actually, I guess it starts off in the past where you see something with a little girl being comforted by a ranger as the police show up, and the whole scene is ominously done. Like something is wrong here. The way the ranger is acting around her is just off. He's saying all the right things, but the demeanor is just off. And these kind of scenes are where this movie's strongest. Now, cut to when they're late teens, I guess, at a punk show, and it's the same little girl, all grown up, and now she's a punk, I guess. Anyway, she hangs out with her group of friends, including her boyfriend. They do drugs. They hang out at a show. They talk about the band they want to have, which is currently the Destructoids or the Demonoids, something like that. They said it enough, so I should remember. But this movie isn't that memorable. Anyway, then the place gets busted by the cops, and as they make their escape, the unlikable boyfriend character stabs a cop to make sure our lead girl gets out of trouble, and then they run off and decide that they have to hightail it, stealing a van that happens to have another girl from the punk scene that we met earlier in it also. So it's this band with their plus one that they kidnapped. She's cool with it. She gets it. She didn't want to be arrested either. So I'll go to her uncle's cabin in the woods, who he's passed away a long time ago, so she knows about this place and has told them about it, so they want to go there to hide out until the heat goes down. On the way up there, they meet that same ranger from the opening, who was trying to tell them the mountain's closed. But they tell him, well, she's got property up there, so screw you, buddy, up we go. And as they hang out in the woods, our lead girl, who I really should name drop here, Chelsea, is clearly not comfortable with them being here, and she wants to respect her uncle's place because this was a meaningful place for her where she grew up, and her friends are now smoking inside it, which she tried to ask them not to do, which most of her friends were going to be okay with, but her asshole boyfriend says, no, fuck the rules, just do it. They set a fire that almost burns down the part of the forest. They start spray paint tagging trees. It's driving her crazy with how they're treating this area that was important to her. Well, soon enough, things go bad as one of them gets shot. Out of the blue, completely. I will say that definitely surprised me. Anyway, they quickly, in the midst of panic, Chelsea and her boyfriend try to go up the mountain to the ranger station to get to a radio. One of them stays with her, the other one tries to walk back to the gas station. Well, it's obvious that the ranger's the one that's the one behind this, as he's this weird guy who's obsessed with all things that are only natural. Like, if something he doesn't find in nature, he's not a big fan of it. And the way they're treating the forest, he's like, no, these guys gotta go. But he also is weirdly obsessed with Chelsea, and now he has recognized her and wants to keep her for himself because she's a wolf. This guy's definitely dangerously obsessed with her. And again, those parts of the scenes where it adds that level of uncomfortable tension work best. But the rest of it is pretty stock and standard. I watched a movie relatively recently that is kind of like this, that was downrange, but this one has a bit better setup. And the acting by Jeremy Holm, who plays the Ranger, his scenes are pretty good, but he also comes across a bit like a dollar store Patrick Warburton. And if Patrick Warburton was in this role, it would have been a great horror comedy. He would have definitely elevated that thing to the next level. But he does fine with it. But fine is the best I can give it. Is when he's trying to be uncomfortable, he is uncomfortable. When he's trying to be intimidating, it's not that much. And though the gory bits are decently gory, there's not. Then it's few and far between. The guy tearing his own foot out of a bear trap was probably much the best of that. But yeah, it's trying to be an above average version of one of these kind of movies, but it's still just one of these kind of movies. So I'm gonna give The Ranger a 5 MacGuffins. I was gonna actually give this one a 4 before, but the fact that it is trying something a little bit to be a bit more gives it some points, and Jeremy Holmes' performance does help it. But the characters, for the most part, they're not the most likable. I mean, you feel for Chelsea, but everyone else, the fact that they just keep completely ignoring what she's asking them to do, and just makes them seem very asinine. The other girl that they brought up with their, I think her name was Amanda, maybe? Oh, Amber. She's okay, but definitely gets kind of obnoxious at moments. And then Garth, the boyfriend, he's terrible. And the other two, Jerk and Abe, they have a random bit there with that they're a couple, which, cool, that they're a gay couple, I'm down with that. They actually handle it pretty well, but they don't, blow it up and make it all their character. That you only know, then they don't really throw it in your face, or bring it up right away. It's like much later in when things are going bad that they actually show that. Otherwise, they're playing it well. But the movie otherwise is just mediocre. And with how unlikable a lot of characters are, it almost sank it to a 4, but the few strong bits pulled it back up to a 5. So 5 is the best I could do for The Ranger. If I didn't say before, this one came out 2018. I think it might be a Shudder exclusive, but I'm not 100% sure on that one, or a Shudder original. It's okay, but I doubt I'll watch this one again. Alright, all for now, Void. I'll see you later.